Good evening, folks. Dustin Zarni here, Democratic Elections Commissioner of Onondaga County. This is Tuesday, and it's Commissioner in the car, and it's late. That's why I got the lights on. I just got home from the Board of Elections. It's about 11 o'clock on Tuesday. It's September 5th, the day after Labor Day, the unofficial kickoff of the general election. And I didn't want to skip tonight, and that's why I'm doing this late. But it's going to be kind of, I'll be honest, it's going to be kind of a quick Commissioner in the car. But what I wanted to talk about is what's going on this week at the Board of Elections is we have new poll site manager classes. And, you know, I got my little clear ballot swag on here, mainly because my hair's a mess from working all day. But also because an underreported aspect of what we're doing this year is we're not only just getting new voting machines, which of course are great, and new, and then expanding to ballot on demand for every polling place in Onondaga County, but this infusion of technology means that we have to redesign how we want to service the voters. And this will be also brand new to this general election. So there's a lot of new things, but we've changed the way we are managing our poll sites on election day and during early voting. And let me explain. So back in the day, many, many years ago, before the advent, before about 4 or 5 years ago, there would be chairs of polling places as called for in election law that were elected by the inspectors themselves. And that serviced Onondaga County, and a lot of other polling places probably still do this, or a lot of other counties still do this. And that serviced us before 2019, when we started to infuse all this brand new technology into the polling places. And so we made a decision as a board around 2020 that we would no longer have elected chairs, because what was happening is some people would just nominate themselves to be chairs of a polling place. They were an inspector, but they may not have had the technical knowledge that we needed at the polling place to be able to handle the technology. So we decided to have special classes for poll site managers, and we appointed poll site managers for the last couple of years, where we had one poll site manager at each place. But we also had a regular inspector, which is somebody who took a regular class, and then what we had was a middle trained inspector called the voting system specialist. Now that position was created back in 2008 when we got the new image cast machines in. And that specialist really was meant to sit at the machine and be able to power it up and power it down, because, you know, we'd gone over from the lever machines to the image cast machines from Dominion in 2008. And that was a pretty big leap in technology. But over the last 14 years, it wasn't as needed to have this middle position. So what we've decided, and I think it's going to work out great, because I always think things are going to work out great, and we'll see what happens, you know, when it hits the road. But I do think that we made a decision at the Board of Elections that what we wanted to do was have 2 poll site managers at every polling site and eliminate the voting system specialist position. And the reason we decided this is several reasons. The first and main reason is we wanted our poll sites to model the bipartisan nature of our boards of elections, like we've done at our board, and and across every aspect of our Board of Elections. So the poll site managers at each polling place will be one Republican, one Democrat, and they'll have to work together to manage the polling place and make sure that everything is being done. But also, both these poll site managers will get extra training on all of the technological advancements and new equipment that will be at a polling place. And by having 2 people there that know everything, know the poll prints, know the clear ballot machines that are coming in, and know all the new techniques, we feel really confident between the 2 of them that they're going to be able to accomplish what we need for the voters at these polling places on election day. So, but of course, that meant that we had to redesign our entire training system. And we did redesign the certification course, which is the regular inspectors that took it. They just got done with that. Although we may have another week of courses on that. So if you're still interested in being an election inspector, go to our website, onvote.net, and sign up. We may have another week of new certification courses in October. But now we've designated about 300 or so inspectors that are going to be our poll site managers. We have about 150 polling places. And those poll site managers will also work with our, what we call our techs. We have about 24 part-time seasonal employees that are basically supervisors of our inspectors, and they run our early voting labs, our early voting sites. So they're going to work with them on early voting, and they're going to manage our poll sites on election day. And they'll be versed in the poll prints that are being put out there, the ballot on demands, the poll pads, and the advanced functions that we need for the advanced voters, and the clear ballot, or the clear cast go, which is our scanners, and the clear mark, which is our ballot marking devices for accessible voting. So they have a whole brand new course that we designed. It starts tomorrow. It's a 3-hour course. So to be an inspector in Onondaga County, you have to take your 3.5-hour certification course, certificate course, to be a regular inspector. Certification course. I don't know why. It's late. I'm having a little trouble with my mouth right now. But and so you take that, and if you want to be a regular inspector, you have to, a poll site manager, you have to have at least served one election with us as a regular inspector, and then we will allow you to take the poll site manager class and maybe assign you as a poll site manager on election day, depending on availability, depending on party, all of that. So poll site managers on election day will be responsible for setting up the poll site, getting it operational, having all the technology working, and managing the other regular inspectors that are in the poll site. So they have to work together and to get the poll site up and running. It's very important that they have to work together. And we think we've chosen a few candidates that are ready to do this. And I think this experiment, I hope, is going to be a success, because I think it will be the model for how we're going to continue to do polling sites here, not only in Onondaga County, but we're kind of the model for a lot of the clear ballot people that are coming on with these brand new clear ballot machines and redesigning and thinking about how they want to operate poll sites. So we're kind of the canary in the coal mine, and we're happy to be so, because we look forward to this kind of stuff. Our staff has been working incredibly hard on this poll site manager course, though tonight we had our dry run and found out some things that we had to fix. And the reason I bring that up is not because I'm ashamed of that. This is something that always happens when you're doing new stuff. You're going to try stuff, it's not going to work. You're going to try it for the first time, it's going to behave in a different way than you ever thought. But I've been on the phone with the vendor tonight. I've redesigned a couple of our steps. I'm very confident that starting tomorrow, our poll site manager classes will go off in as good of a fashion as it can for something so brand new. I'm actually teaching all 3 classes tomorrow, because a lot of the teachers were there with us tonight, but they didn't get a full class, and so they're going to be shadowing me over the next day, and then shadowing the other teachers that are more versed in this, to be able to teach the class themselves. So we have a lot invested in making sure that our poll sites are operational and running well. A lot of hours spent on training, and that doesn't mean that everything's going to go exactly the way we want, because we're all humans and we make mistakes. But I think we're going to be in the best position we can be to be able to implement all of this new technology for this general election and get ready for next year's big presidential elections. So I'm really excited. I'm running a little bit on adrenaline, but because it is kind of late, so I'm going to let you go real quick. But the poll site manager classes are ongoing, and starting tomorrow. If you have been an inspector with us and you think you might want to be a poll site manager, contact our inspector team at 315-435-VOTE and see if there might be some room for some of the classes that are going on for the poll site managers. You may not be assigned as a poll site manager this time, but you may be assigned in the future. But you do get paid for the training. So if you're interested and you think you have the stuff to be a poll site manager, contact us. We'll be happy to put you to work. All right. But of course, that, if you want to be a regular inspector, again, we've got certification courses coming later in October, at the beginning of October to get everybody trained for this general election. We had certification courses all August. Now we're going to poll site managers. Then we have one more week to catch up some people that maybe didn't get the first course done, and then away we go. Well, wish me luck. Wish the board luck. I think we're going to do well. But we're entering a brave new world here with these dual poll site managers, and I think it's going to be a fine changeover. A lot of changes at our board, but we're handling them with with grace. I think a little bit, sometimes there's a little swearing, but mostly grace, and mostly the ability to think on our feet and implement this, as we are the vanguard of upstate New York when it comes to implementing new technology, and we're proud of that. So, all right, see you around. And oh yeah, this week, what's coming up Thursday, I got my Zoom with Zarni with Dan Romeo, and next weekend I promise get started back on my wheelie wonk. I took it off for Labor Day. I'll be back with the town of Tully this next weekend, and we'll be getting into the home stretch here with the general election next week. I did a primer a week ago, but my next commissioner in car will be about the manliest special election. Again, we know a little bit more about absentees, and we'll be talking about how that's going starting next week, about how you can vote on that starting September. But I did a little bit about that. Go to the Manliest Town website. They have a lot of information on there. They're doing a great job of trying to get voters to know about this special election that's going on. All right. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.